of the besieged city of Misrata. Well, joining me now is Sir Desmond de Silva, the former UN Chief War Crimes Prosecutor for Sierra Leone. Very good evening to you, Sir Desmond. I mean, how solid is this sort of evidence in any sort of future war crimes trial?
Well, it's absolutely fascinating because it seems to represent a treasure trove of damning evidence against Gaddafi and his henchmen. In fact, if the material is correct, it would take responsibility right to the top. Now, it's unusual in international criminal cases to actually come across documentation of this kind, and one's mind goes back to Nuremberg, the trial after the Second World War, when, of course, the Germans left behind well-documented cases of that which certainly supported the conviction of a large number of those who were indicted before the Nuremberg court. So to that extent, it really is quite interesting that this treasure trove of damning evidence has now been discovered. One understands that...
As you say, Sir Desmond, a treasure trove from any prosecutor's point of view. What do you make as someone who's looked through some horrific evidence during your time as Chief Prosecutor for the UN in Sierra Leone, when you look at some of the language used here, I mean, talking about turning the blue sea red in Misrata, I mean, does that strike you as particularly graphic for this sort of documentation when it is found in these sort of cases?
Well, it's emotive and graphic, but I mean, obviously, one looks to see whether the documentation that has been found as a part of this cache of material, in fact, contains orders, directions, and the like for troops to carry out. That is much more important than rather lurid descriptions of the kind that you have just referred to.
There are claims that this documentation sanctions blockades of Misrata, in particular. I mean, the implications there that the people of Misrata would be, in effect, starved out. I mean, if that was true, what exactly does that violate in terms of international law?
Well, it would clearly be a war crime.
Simple as that, straightforward as that?
Yes.
I mean, because there are questions, aren't there, about bringing this sort of evidence into the public domain and presumably as a result to Gaddafi's knowledge, whilst there are still some attempts underway to get him to stand down, to give way.
Well, I know, well, this is always the problem, isn't it, in cases of this kind. I think Colonel Gaddafi has made it quite clear that he is not going to budge, and he is going to remain for as long as he can, turning his guns upon his own people. And what eventually transpires, I know not. But one sincerely hopes that the matter will come to an end, and it'll come to an end with the departure in one way or another of Colonel Gaddafi.
Sir Desmond de Silva, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's check on Rory McIlroy's progress in his third round at the US Open at the Congressional Club in Maryland, and steady round so far from the Northern Irishman. Didn't tee off till about 50 minutes or so ago, but he's level par after 4 holes. Been in a bit of trouble. That was the third hole. Great approach, which effectively saved a par, and he was in a bunker a minute ago, got out of that as well with a brilliant shot from the sand. So he's still 11 under and leads by 6 from Freddie Jacobson at the moment.